Hey guys, I'm going to go over real quick just how to remove the Pint one-wheel wheel. Um, I'm not really going to get into the tire swapping aspect of it because there's already other videos on how to do that. Essentially, it's just a kart tire, so it's pretty straightforward. You could probably just search, go-kart tire change or something like that. But as far as getting this wheel out of here, I'm going to go over the tools that you're going to need and basically the steps that it's going to take to do it. I don't really want to take my board apart again because I got everything thread locked back in, and I don't really want to have to redo all that. So I'm just going to kind of go over and show you all the bolts that need to be removed. The first thing you're going to want to do is come up here to your foot pad. You've got two bolts right here at the base of the front foot pad, and you're just going to take those out. So you're going to use either the supplied wrench from Future Motion if you bought a fender kit or a foot pad kit, anything like that. It's going to come with this little wrench, but essentially all that is going to be a T20 Torx bit. So if you get a Torx bit kit from the auto parts store, it's going to be a T20. You're going to remove those two bolts. You're going to turn to the bottom, and you're going to remove the two bolts on the other side of the bumper, and you're also going to remove the two bolts on the underside, the front part of that rear plate kit. I put the float plate on here, and so it actually kind of saves the bumper. And those have Allen bolts in them right now, but those are the 6 bolts needed to remove the front foot pad. Once that foot pad is loose, underneath it are going to be 2 plugs on the right side of the board, so the side of the board with the handle. One plug is very obviously going to go to the foot pad. You don't need to remove that in order to take the wheel out. It'll help, but unless you have the little special tool, don't use a wrench to ruin those threads, or there's like little notches, and you don't want to ruin those because I imagine that plug isn't cheap to change. And then there's another plug that very obviously runs to the wheel. That's the one you're going to want to loosen. So you'll take a pair of pliers similar to these, and very gently, don't wrench down on it too hard, you're going to clamp that and turn it counterclockwise just enough to get it loose. And then you can get in there with your fingers, loosen it up, and just pull that plug out and separate it. You're not going to remove it completely, just kind of separate it. Take one screw and put your foot pad back in if you decided not to remove it completely. The next thing you're going to want to do is take these 4 bolts out, which I will go ahead and do that real quick. That way I can show you a little bit better. Once those 4 are removed, just kind of pop this out. And this tire is the Hoosier 10.5x5 CIK wet. It does fit with the stock fender. Anyway, once you have that removed, you can kind of see these wires up in here now that I'm talking about. So you have better kind of access to everything here. Next thing you can do is, or you're going to want to do, is you're going to want to take a T30 Torx bit and loosen these. So what I would recommend doing, it's kind of automotive. You take the lug bolts out, you loosen them all in a pattern, and then you remove them all the way. I would loosen this one, flip the board around, loosen the opposite, corner, and then go back, loosen that one, and then back to that one. Once they're all cracked loose, go ahead and remove them. And then when you flip the board on its side, you're going to look underneath, and there's going to be little plates right here with number 1 Phillips screw heads. Make sure you're seating your screwdriver and your Torx bits down all the way when you're removing these nuts, as they're very easy to strip, or these bolts, I mean. So you're going to remove these, and both of these plates should come out completely. They're like little half moons. And once those caps are removed and these bolts are removed, you should be able to move the wheel around in the frame. The last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove this mag handle, because it does make swiveling the wheel out a lot easier. It's a little Allen head right here, and it's going to be a number 3 H3 Allen head. If you can get this in there, great. If not, you can just take a standard number 3 and you're going to just loosen that, and it's going to take a while. But this handle will make removing the wheel a lot easier. Once the wheel's removed, you get into the tire changing aspect of it. Take a valve stem core remover, which is just like a, it's like a proprietary screwdriver. You remove the valve stem, release the pressure, and just kind of go through your basic tire changing method. You're going to want some tire spoons, some tire slime, but all that's gone over in other videos. This is just kind of for the pint. When you go to put all your screws back in, I don't know of any torque specs for these, so I would just kind of go good and tight, just tight, and then a little bit more. Don't over torque, don't under torque. Keep an eye on your bolts. Check them every 50 miles to make sure they're still tight. And the thread locker you're going to want to use when you're putting all this stuff back is a Loctite thread locker blue 242. Do not use the red if you ever want to take your wheel off again without stripping the bolt. The blue is what you want. The bottle is red, but it is the thread locker blue 242 removable. That's important. You're going to want to use this because these boards do take a lot of vibration and those bolts could rattle loose. If you have any questions, drop a comment below, or you can hit me up on Facebook. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. Again, if I missed anything, just drop a comment and I'll try to answer it the best I can. Good luck.